Hello and welcome, this is Dan. We are starting our Nancy Drew series. I'm pretty excited to start this game because it got very good reviews and a good score on Steam. And I'm just coming off of Siberia 2 and I'm just looking for another game that I guess, you know, it's not like a shooter or something that's like very prevalent these days, but something a little bit more with a story. Like, I've been really getting into those. And then also maybe just like something investigative. I think the Nancy Drew stories are I think these series are based off of Nancy Drew books, which themselves are kind of like a mystery type thing. So I think that's going to be something that's going to be really nice. Just kind of something different than what I've been playing. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope that you'll continue and watch along with me. I believe I'm going to try to make this episode just a little bit longer, just to see if we can get into it. And then if we go into subsequent episodes, they'll be a slightly bit shorter. But that's my plan for this. I hope you're ready to join. Hope you're ready for this new adventure here. And let's get started, shall we? All right. Choose your difficulty level, amateur and master. Regular puzzles, hints available, and detailed task list. And more challenging, no hints, and basic task list. That's a good question. I think, considering this is my first Nancy Drew game, and considering that I had quite a bit of difficulty with some of the puzzles in Siberia, I wouldn't say that I had trouble with every puzzle, but I did have quite a bit of trouble with quite a few of them. So I think maybe I'll go with the amateur, and if it turns out that it's pretty easy, I think for subsequent Nancy Drew games I'll choose the master sleuth, but for now I think I'm going to choose the amateur sleuth. Let's go. What have we got here? Oh, okay. Got a hand. Security Service MI5 Cathedral. Oh, so is the MI5? I think that's a relation to British intelligence, I think. Nancy Drew, our agency has been monitoring your progress for some time now, and we are quite impressed with your accomplishments. I'll get to the point. Certain events have forced our organization to reopen a case that has gone unsolved for the last 8 years. Although impressive, your field work experience is only part of the reason we're requesting your help. Simply put, Miss Drew, we're asking for your help not because of what you can do, but because of who you are. 8 years ago, Kate Drew died in a single automobile crash in the outskirts of Glasgow. This official version of your mother's death is, as you may have suspected, not the entire story. Her death was not an accident. We have strong evidence that Kate was killed by the very group she was investigating. We need your help. We've included a plane ticket and have a room ready for you at Glaucus Lodge. You'll be briefed upon arrival. There's no time to spare. The future of Glasgow may rest in your hands. Office of International Affairs, MI5. Interesting. So here's a photo. Huh. Oh, this is moving by itself, guys. I'm not doing anything. This is interesting, a little cinematic. Oh, the mom was playing the piano. This must be a memory from when she was a child.
Drew residence, Kate speaking. You know this line isn't secure. Moira, stop. I'll call you.
Interesting. Loch Lomond. Wyverns Gate Station.
This is where Mom was in the picture. Okay. Now what?
Whoop.
Hey, my suitcase!
Someone just snatched this
I'm
her
on
shoe.
it. That guy's a thief! I really thought I was going to get that guy. Sorry.
Thanks for trying.
I'm Alec.
Nancy, that's a nice offer, but why would you want to do that? It doesn't look like you work here.
I'm in the business of finding people who don't want to be found.
Well, I won't turn down help. So you're a private eye?
I'm more of a skip tracer. When someone goes off the grid, I get a call and track them down. They skip, I trace.
I had some very important things that belong to my mom in that suitcase. I really need them back.
Go check into your hotel. I will find your suitcase.
Wow, that was so nice of him. Hotel key card. Insert. Beep. Oh, cell phone.
Nancy, glad you made it. I'm your cathedral contact, Ewan. There is a case file in your room. Read it, memorize it. That's your playbook. It'll keep you alive. I've got a bit of housekeeping to do. Get settled. I'll call you when I'm ready.
So it's pretty interesting. Looks like the game has movement based upon the picture you're in, but you move in a first-person view. I think I mentioned this is my first Nancy Drew game, but this is pretty different. The cinematics, I want to call it, seem a little stilted, but I guess that's kind of comes with the game or the genre, just because it's not meant to be a cinematic, I guess. But we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, the backgrounds look really great. All right, let's see if there's... I'm still getting used to what everything means. So I think the magnifying glass is just the default. The default. Looks like it can turn around. Let's
My
lock.
cathedral contact wants me to read up on the case before anything else.
I like to always just lock my door when I get into a room because you never know. But I guess that's not Nancy's style. Yeah, I just clicked on this because with the magnifying glass, but it doesn't do anything. So I think that's just the default. And here we can check out the bed. Oh. And I guess the magnifying glass glows if you're over something that can be inspected. Okay. That's good to know because... Wait. Oh, so if you see this symbol, it moves her view. Oh, so you can look around you 360. Okay, cool. That's kind of a nice feature. Alright, so let's check this out. Looks like we're grabbing coins. 21 coins. Top secret. Eyes only. It's from MI5 again. Cathedral. I guess... I don't know some of the lore in the background. This is obviously not the first game in the series, but I'm guessing Cathedral is a... part of MI5, possibly, and Nancy has worked with them in the past. Miss Drew, I must welcome you to Scotland with very unfortunate news. You've been led here under false pretenses. You are not here as a guest of Cathedral. You were not asked here to investigate the death of your mother by MI5. You've been lied to. Kate Drew, your mother, was a Cathedral operative. 8 years ago, a small cell associated with a terrorist organization known as Revenant attempted to attack Glasgow. Kate was instrumental in stopping the attack, now known as the Colony Operation. We believe the organization your mother took offline has returned to full strength and is now planning to mount the attack once more. We believe you have been brought here by Revenant for reasons we do not yet fully understand. If this is overwhelming, do not worry. We will give you access to information as needed. We are in the process of briefing your contact on the situation. He will bring you in soon. Your first priority is to locate and make contact with a local reporter named Moira Chisholm. She was considered a person of interest in the first attempted attack on Scotland, but was never directly connected. She has since refused to cooperate with this organization. We will be keeping a close watch on you at all times, but this does not mean that you will be protected. Please note this difference. Move forward cautiously and trust no one. Anyone who approaches you should be considered a suspect. Attached, you will find a basic brief to get you somewhat caught up on what you need to know. Page 2. Brief. Cathedral. Oh, okay. They're explaining all of this stuff. An organization dedicated to the safety of Glasgow and surrounding areas. This organization acts as an intelligence outpost and reports to MI5. It is equivalent to what would be a local branch of the FBI in the US. Yeah, I got the impression because that she got a plane ticket, she must be in the US. And them having to call that out, I'm not sure if that's for the player to know that it's a branch of the, like a branch of the FBI if you were in the US, or if that's just if that's a call out to Nancy. Colony operation. The attempted non-lethal biological attack on Glasgow that was thwarted by Cathedral operatives 8 years ago. The party responsible for the attack was never confirmed, though it is believed Revenant was involved. Current intelligence points to signs that the operation may be restarting. Colony formula. The colony attack required a very specific and difficult to produce biological element. It is believed, but not verified, that Kate Drew found a way to destroy all records of the formula and placed the individual responsible for creating it into hiding. Very little is known about this group. Revenant is believed to be behind a number of terrorist events around the globe over the course of the last few decades. Paradoxically, this same group has been linked to as many counter-terrorist activities during that same period. The aim of this organization is not yet known. So that's interesting. So they are believed to be a group that causes terror or terror events, but at the same time, they've been linked to a bunch of counter-terrorism groups in the same period that they were suspected to be doing terrorist events. So I wonder if they're using terrorism as kind of a cover for what they're doing. Or maybe it's a business where they create terror, but also they are part of the counter-terror for sales of spy equipment or information or something of that sort. All right. But, how do we know that this case file is actually given to us by actual MI5 or Cathedral? Because we got a letter initially in the US stating that we were needed to come here in the first place. So how do we know that that's even a thing? Safe. All right, I don't have anything here. Looks like it's secured, maybe. Track down more information about Mom's past in Cathedral and track down Moira Chisholm. Find the case file. Alright, so I found the case file. Yep, and still looking to do those other things. Okay. We don't have a suitcase, so we can't unpack. Well, I can't pick up the charger. I guess we don't need to charge anything at the moment. But, Kate, you couldn't charge your phone? You always gotta charge your phone after you travel. Okay. No, we're not gonna go back yet. Anything here of importance? Oh, whoa. I thought I saw... Oh, yeah. I thought I saw something sparkle. What was that? Is that a collectible of some sort? Oh, it was money. I think this said 21 earlier. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what it was. Okay. I wonder if money is going to be an aspect of the game that we're going to have to be on the lookout for. So this is the view from her room. Okay, so it's all just for view. Is that all? Just... okay. Alright, so perhaps we are done here, and we should head on out. Oh, that was to unlock it? Who are you?
The American girl.
We are
Do I
American.
know you?
You do now. I'm Bridget. I'll be outside. There's something very important I need to tell you.
Yeah, as I said, the animations are a little rigid, but you know what? Looking closely, it's not that bad considering that it's not a it's not an aspect of the game I'm sure that they were looking to really make have a big visual impact. Yeah, it is money. This was definitely 22 and now it's 32. What? I'm just exploring a little bit first. Don't mind me. Okay. Turn around. Can we go further? No, this is just her room. Okay. Alright, so I guess we're going downstairs. Ground floor. Explore the hotel courtyard. Talk to Bridget. Okay. Well, it mentions we can explore, so let's explore. Oh, this is where we had our stuff stolen. Okay, so let's take a look here. Souvenirs. Oh, we can buy stuff. What's this?
Looks like it's out of things to vend.
And this is the same, and this is the same. What? I want coffee! I don't know. Maybe it's not best to buy anything right now. You know, I don't know if we're gonna need this money for something in the future. Okay. Looks like a train station. Oh, this is the dude. He said he was gonna help find her suitcase that got stolen. I wonder if that was a ruse and like he was involved with that. Expect delays. Okay, so we can't go there. 2 lockers.
I need to have a ticket.
Oh, okay, never mind. I wanted to go see the other side there, but... Looks like a trash compactor, maybe? Alright, we're back out in the hall here. Not responsible. Alright, so all the green ones mean that they're open. And these red ones mean that they're taken. So we can put stuff in here. I'm guessing we use the money. Oh shoot, I'm spending money right now. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so dumb of me. Jeez. I'm sorry. Let me just do a quick save first. I'm gonna do one. Ugh, I feel so stupid. Beersden. It's closed off. This is also closed off. Let's go speak to this guy. Hey, bro.
Why did you come alone? Don't you have family, friends? Surely you have a boyfriend.
I do.
Then why do you travel so lonely?
This isn't exactly a vacation.
Okay, and looks like we have a host of things that we can ask him.
I need you to find someone for me.
I am to please.
A reporter named Moira Chisholm. Word is no one knows how to find her. That seems right in your wheelhouse.
If I knew what the wheelhouse is, I'd agree.
I think it's in a boat.
Well, that seems useless.
Or it's a baseball thing?
Double useless. But yes, I'm on it.
Okay, cool. Oh, now he's gone. Huh. Okay, weird. I don't know why you'd be able to move in here on that, but okay, sure. Oh, what?
Nancy, you have attracted our attention. Consider this your first test. You will find an envelope in Locker 49. Take it to the Ten Raven Pub in Giffnet. If you do, you will be rewarded. Here's a hint.
Harrier checking in. Challenge code for agent CMYK-0110. The colony operation has been terminated.
Wouldn't you like to know more?
Was that Mom?
Alright, interesting. Alright, so Locker 49, I think he said. This was not there just a moment ago, I swear. July 14th, formal invitation to follow. Drop off as instructed or not. Interesting. Suspects. Oh, observations. I don't know much about Scotland. When in doubt, ask a native. The case file explains some of the elements of the case Mom was working on. I need to figure out how these pieces fit together. I was invited to Glasgow to investigate the unexplained events that led to my mother's death 8 years ago. But then the file, the case file we got says that that was not the right, that was not actually what happened. Here's Griffnock. Here we go.
I need to have a ticket.
Okay. Well, I guess we can't do that now. Here we go. Touchscreen to begin. Let's see, 5 round. If I had the money, I would have just gotten the 15 round trip and not had to deal with it. Dang it. As it stands now, I'm gonna have to take this one. 5 round trips. Alright. Wyvern's Gate Station. Blockus Lodge. Stay in luxury, live like royalty in the heart of Glasgow. The best place to stay in Scotland. The rooms, the service, the food, it's first class all the way. Visit Scotland's wild side, Loch Lomond. Relax on the bonny shores or boat to the islands, Great Britain's largest inland lake. Explore adjoining Trossachs National Park. Loch Ness, home of the legendary monster Nessie. Visit the stunning Urquhart Castle. Trek through the surrounding highlands. I wouldn't mind going to Scotland. I think that would be cool. Never been. Whoa, whoa. Money! That was just 2. Griffnock. Alright. Now we're traveling. Chugga 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 chugga. I don't actually mind traveling via train. Let's grab this. That is shears. So. Yeah. I know it said to drop the letter here at the 10 Raven. But I wonder if there's... No, no! Oh, God. Dang it. Alright, let me... I'm gonna reload my game so that I didn't waste the whole round trip. Alright. Sorry about that. Clicking here made me go back to the train. I thought I would just look at the train. I didn't know that it would take me directly back. So I loaded back from my save, and I came all the way back here. I didn't want to waste a round trip for that, you know? Close for private event. 10 Raven. Ooh, black pudding, pork sausage, porridge, Scottish breakfast, breads and pastries. Yeah, I went to a restaurant that was an Irish restaurant, and I thought it was pretty good. I honestly wouldn't mind. Oh my god. I didn't save at the point where I picked up the... Oh, God. I didn't save it at the point where I picked up the letter. Okay, I think we're finally back out where we were earlier. Oh, man. And so I didn't use up a whole round trip for nothing. I have the letter that it says to deliver, so let's go ahead and do that.
I'm going to pretend this is for a wedding. What else could it be for?
Yeah, what else could it be for? Oh.
You've passed. You deserve praise and a reward. Listen.
I'm doing everything I can to stay under the radar. I'll call in when I can, but you won't be able to reach me. Revenant has pulled out, but remaining operatives are still following me. Pay attention to where I'm calling from. There's a pattern. Figure it out and find me. I've left a trail. Card is for Cathedral. The rest is for back home. Figure it out.
Why do they keep sending me these old recordings of Mom?
I wonder if these recordings are recorded somewhere. Got an interesting call. The voice on the other end promised to give me more information about my mom if I dropped off the envelope in Locker 49 at the 10 Raven pub in Griffnock. Not sure what to do. I met a strange girl named Bridget. She knew I was an American. Even before we met, yeah. Like, this whole thing about being this thing being a spy...
Did that.
I'm not sure if, like, we're being led to accidentally be a part of Revenant, or if, you know, we're helping Revenant find Kate. Like, a lot of spy story stuff can get kind of complicated, so I'm not sure where the story's gonna go. But we've done that, so let's go back to the station. Okay, we used up the one way. Oh, this guy's back. Okay, cool.
I think I found your friend.
Great. Where?
Fair warning, she's a hitter. She hit me.
Did you provoke her?
Oh, just a little.
Then you
Why
deserved
is she
it.
so important?
She wrote an article I thought was pretty interesting.
About hitting strangers, no doubt. She's out in Bearston. You can take the train out there.
Have you been sending me messages?
No. And the way you say that makes me think these aren't your standard messages.
You could say that.
Correct.
If anyone is threatening you, I need to know right now.
Why?
Because common courtesy.
I don't find that particularly reassuring since I'm not sure who is after me.
Right, I've been meaning to ask you about that.
Right now, you and I have about the same amount of information. And unless you actually know something...
Eh?
Huh. Like, why is he so interested to hear about this? Who are you?
Why are you still hanging out here?
I'm a big fan of announcements. And I gotta love a shrill beep now and again. Wait for it. Ah?
Who doesn't?
I need to kick off at a second sometimes, and I get sick of rushing over. Then, it grew on me. I like watching travelers, trying to imagine the worlds they carry with them in their heads, and I got a thing for the crumpets here. I think I could have been a great professor of psychology, but I never could sit in a chair, now could I?
I don't really know you, so I don't know. But you seem... Actually, everybody seems very suspicious right now.
Have you heard of Revenant?
Like the fancy word for ghost, yeah.
Right.
No, it weren't a ghost, it was proper like he was kitted out in one of them tuxes and snacking on a canopy.
What?
Revenant is supposedly a terrorist group. You've never heard of them?
Nope, so hardly terrifying. They're more of an obscurist group.
Nothing. You've heard nothing about this group.
No, and neither have you.
Huh. And neither have you.
All right.
I need to know, are you really who you say you are?
Why?
That means no.
It does. But I'm a friend, and I did save your life back there. Doesn't that buy me a bit of goodwill?
Agreeing to find my suitcase was nice. I'd hardly call that saving my life.
I was perfectly happy in my routine. Taking jobs, making money, crumpets. Everything that could be good was good. Then I met you, went out of my way to keep you present tense, and yet the sass. You want to know about me? Tell me about you. Until you're ready to do that, leave me alone.
I'm not leaving until you tell me what's going on.
Great. I enjoy your company.
He's being sassy. Is this his bag or our bag? Look, I guess it must be his bag. And when he left, he put an occupied sign up. But he seems very suspicious. He didn't want to answer any questions. But as a stranger, would you want to?
Kidding.
All right, I'll tell you about myself if I can get some answers in return.
Thank you. Why are you here?
I want to learn more about my mother. All right, what do you really do for a living?
Exactly what I told you. What do you want to know about your mother?
She left home one day. I don't know why. My dad begged her not to go, and she didn't listen. She died here. I don't think it was an accident.
Why not?
No, my turn. Is someone paying you to keep an eye on me?
That's enough. That was fun.
Interesting. So someone is paying him, or at least he's letting us believe that someone is paying him to keep eyes on us. But that letter, the case file said that they're going to keep an eye on us, but that won't necessarily mean that we're going to be safe. So I wonder if they were referring to him. Okay, so that's the train station. Don't see anything else really around here other than her and this shack here.
It might be good to read up on the attack.
The Glasgow Daily Standard, established 1892. In Colony Shadow, as July 14th nears, many pause to remember the attack that almost devastated Glasgow nearly a decade ago. The thwarted attack, named the Colony Operation by the intelligence community, was intended to destabilize the governmental power structure of the Greater Glasgow region. The most unique feature of the attempted attack was the custom incubated virus, a formula built to sicken but not to kill. The nation's leading epidemiologists have yet to isolate what has been referred to as the final formula. Years later, more questions remain than answers. Authorities continue to investigate leads, hoping one day to answer the 3 most critical issues at stake. If a second attack is planned, when would it occur, and of course, why? That is interesting. Usually, if you have like a custom virus, it would be something that would end up killing. But if you are from 2020 or 2021, you know that no matter the virus, it's very easy to spread out into something much bigger. Blast Quarry, a potential nuisance. Memories of the future that almost was. I was a block and a half away from my flat when the alarms rang out 8 years ago. It was the first time I've heard the civil defense sirens ring in Glasgow. I remember looking at the crowd standing with me on the street. I remember the novelty. I have no idea what to do, a man standing next to me announced with what seemed to be the appropriate amount of cheer. Should I hide under something? Then the siren stopped and the BAA cracked on. We ran to our houses. We taped our windows shut. We turned our TVs to see a parade of reporters, military officials, doctors, terrorism experts. We saw them all share the same stunned blankness we felt at home. I have no idea what to do. Should I hide under something? Then we saw the test pattern take over the broadcast. The strange design we now know to be Revenant's logo. The demand to remain inside and await further instruction. That doesn't happen here. This is Glasgow. The news reporters were back, blinking at us as we blinked at them. Should we hide under something? Following the day of the thwarted attack, that thought wrapped tightly around my cerebral cortex. I took a day in. I filed my stories from home. We all did. Days went by. I sat hunched over my laptop and poured through every report I could find. I was lost in the details. The bombs, chemical propellant systems, really pulled offline at the last second. The test pattern, so strong it overtook every crooked street. Interesting. So this was such a big thing, and it was so public, and that guy that we were talking to at the train station was like, oh, I've never heard of them. But you should have, because everybody here has. Had we never loved, say kindly, had we never loved so blindly, never met or never parted, we had never been broken-hearted. Robert Burns. Oh, what's this? Alright, trash. I wonder if something's gonna get put in the trash and we find it sometime later. Okay. Help wanted.
Oh, hello. You want to make some money? Then make some cookies. The cookie order shows up down there. Make it exactly as shown if you want to get paid. The more cookies you make, the wealthier you get.
Oh, interesting. No. Oh.
Don't forget the top cookie. I need to place the top cookie before cutting.
Okay. No, that's supposed to go on the inside.
Hey, get your own cookie. One top cookie at a time here.
Weird. Okay.
Not quite right. Oops, forgot the top cookie. Oops,
how do you cut this out?
Cookie.
Alright, so maybe we put the sprinkles on first. And then put the top cookie on. Spread this out and then cut out. Oh, shoot.
Not quite right.
Alright, I almost got it. Yeah.
You know what? I can handle not being good at this.
Just quiet.
All right.
Yep, we made some money. Okay, cool.
Done.
All right, one more. I'm just making some money. Need money. And sprinkles.
Done.
All right, cool. So that's how we can make some money. We can buy stuff here. Oh, did I just accidentally purchase that?
Yum.
Dang it. Well, I made some money, so I guess it's not so bad.
You had something important to tell me?
Just that I love Americans. Some people say you're ignorant, entitled slobs, but not me.
I don't know if that was important.
It's not.
Of course it is. You've got the best cities, the best bands, Hollywood. Your star may be fading, but you're still the cool kids at the global lunch table. Teach me your ways.
What?
I'm sorry, but I'm sort of in the middle of something pretty important. I'm a little overbooked.
You say that now, but I can tell we're going to be friends. Or enemies. Either way, get used to this face right here.
Huh. You are quite strange.
Do you work or go to school or what do you do?
You think I'm from Glasgow?
Is that okay?
No! It's glorious. I'm actually from Wetton. It's always been a dream of mine to live in the city. And I'm sort of checking it out to see if it's for me.
Huh. Okay.
How long are you going to be in Glasgow?
Not long. You?
I have no idea. Can you tell me a little bit about Scotland?
Just a bit then. Well, it's old, it's cold, and I like it all the same. I got a book about it. I could get it for you. It's only up in my room.
Huh. I actually kind of wanted to ask her the other questions, but... Okay, let me just do one more. Get this on here. Get the cooker. Get the... Okay, and cut.
Not quite right.
Dang it. Okay. No, that was wrong. That was supposed to be this one.
Need to work on my cookie spotting skills.
For real. Better?
Got it.
Okay, one more. Okay, so this purple one, get the blue sprinkles underneath, and then get this top layer, this on, get the white, get the cutout, and then the red sprinkles.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
Nice. All right, is she back? Okay, I guess we gotta transition the screen before she'll come back. Is she back? She's not back. She was... Can we just go to any floor?
I guess I only have access to my floor and the main floor.
Dang, okay. Nope, we're done with that. And this is the outside we can see. courtyard. Interesting, can't open up the dresser. Would have thought that'd be something. Whoops. Ground floor. She out here now? Yeah, there she is.
I got that book you wanted. Here you go.
Scotland, A Traveler's Guide.
Thanks. How could you tell I'm an American?
I've got a sixth sense about these things. I saw a guy on the train. I just walked up to him and said, "You're from Belgium, aren't you?" He wasn't, but he should have been. He just had that look. Can I follow you around for a whole lot?
You seem really nice.
The nicest. Ask me, Gran.
But I can't really have anyone following me.
Please, don't take it personally.
No, I understand.
I wonder if she's gonna follow us
I'll let you
regardless.
go.
Goodbye.
Interesting. Let's take a look at this book. Occupying the northern third of Great Britain, Scotland's wealth of history and scenery offers something for every traveler. Big scenery abounds, from the beauty of the valleys in the south to the inspiring highlands of the north. History permeates the weather-worn castles and stunning architecture. Culinary masterpieces highlighting local flavors are served in restaurants across the nation, and everywhere you go, the welcoming and friendly locals will be there to help you on your way. So these are the regions. Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, is the most popular city for tourists in the country. Be sure to visit the numerous museums and architectural treasures in Old Town and New Town, where stunning views from Edinburgh Castle and soaking up history at the National Museum of Scotland are not to be missed. Edinburgh also hosts numerous festivals throughout the year, including the world-famous International Film Festival, the International Jazz and Blues Festival, and the Military Tattoo. If this is all true, I would love to come to here. Glasgow. The world-class art galleries, plentiful parks, and chic restaurants and clubs, modern Glasgow offers more than its industrial image of old. The city's origins trace back to the 6th century, and St. Mungo, patron saint of the city, whose crypt rests in the lower church of the magnificent Glasgow Cathedral. For art lovers, the Burrell Collection and the Kelvingrove Art Gallery and Museum have some of the finest collections in all of Great Britain. Glasgow boasts a teeming nightlife and some of the finest shopping in the nation. Southern Scotland. Consisting of the Borders and Dumfries and Galloway, the rolling hills of the rural south may have more resident sheep than people, but a wealth of historical sites abound in the area. Visit the ruins of Caerloverock Castle, the ancient abbeys of Dryburgh and Jedburgh, or the planted grounds of the Logan Botanic Garden. Scotland's literary figures are well represented in the region, with Sir Walter Scott's home at Abbotsford the star attraction. Central Scotland. Located between Glasgow and Edinburgh and the Highlands, Central Scotland is largely farmland and forest. The country's first national park, the Trossachs, adjoin the legendary Loch Lomond on the western edge. On the eastern shore of St. Andrews, the home of golf and site of the famous St. Andrews Links Golf Course. Scotland's history of inventors is represented at Falkirk, where visitors can see the Falkirk Wheel, the world's largest rotating boat lift in action. The Highlands, making up nearly half of the Scottish mainland, the rugged splendor of the Highlands provides some of the most breathtaking views of the country. Visit the Isle of Skye, to which Bonnie Prince Charlie fled after his defeat at Culloden, or take a picture of the famously photographed Eilean Donan Castle. Their area is so rich in clan history and traditions, including the infamous betrayal at Glencoe between the MacDonalds and the Campbells. Orkney in the Shetland Islands. Located off the northern end of the nation, the remote location of the Orkney and the Shetland Islands make these isles a little visited destination. For tourists who do visit the area, they are treated to some of the best historic monuments in Europe. Skara Brae, the stones of Stennon's And the ancient burial tombs can be found in Orkney, while Shetland is home to the Jarlshof prehistoric and Norse settlement. The islands are also home to nature preserves where millions of seabirds congregate for the breeding season each year. And here's the timeline. This really makes Scotland a place that I would like to visit. That'd be cool. I'd like that. Alright, so we talked to Bridget.
Check.
We explored the hotel
That's
courtyard.
done.
We explored the train
Did that.
station. Alright. And we're gonna track down Moira. So, I believe that was at the train station. And he mentioned she was in Beardston. Or Bearsden. Let me save real quick. I'll make this my first save. Overwrite, yes. Okay. So I wonder if it takes me directly to where I need to be here. What's
I
this?
hit you once, I'll hit you again. Are
No.
you looking for a smack?
Where's somebody
Moira,
else?
I really need to talk to you. It's important.
If you want to talk, come back with some food. Oh, that accent. Are you an American?
Yes.
You don't know anything about Scottish food. I'll give you simple names. Get me the oatmeal parfait, turnips and potatoes, haddock, and a bit of fudge if you would.
Oh man. Does this keep track of it for me? What she wanted? Oh, I couldn't remember all of that. Oh my god. My goodness. Alright. Yeah, I can't remember all of that. My memory's terrible. Okay. This way? No. Here we go. Alright.
You're in Scotland?
How did you know?
Never mind how I know. That's not the point. You're deflecting.
Guilty.
You don't have my permission to be in Scotland. Come home right now.
Your permission? I think I'm a little too old for that.
What you're too old for is running headfirst into a dangerous situation and leaving the rest of us to clean up after you.
What is with you right now? Calm down.
Nancy, you don't get it. I'm not angry at you.
Could have fooled me.
I'm scared. Please, just come home.
Oh, so this must be her dad.
Can I have Mom's notes?
No.
It might be helpful.
I bet it would be extremely helpful, but no, you really can't. They're gone.
Oh.
Gone? Where?
I shredded them.
What?
You what?
Remember when you picked the lock on that filing cabinet?
Which one?
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. To my knowledge, it was just the one.
I mean, which one? The only one ever? That one?
I knew you were looking for her notes, so I shredded everything.
So it's all lost?
It's all lost.
How could you do that?
I thought it might prevent you from doing what you're doing right now.
You don't know your daughter, apparently.
Who is Moira Chisholm?
Stay away from her.
My source at Cathedral wants me to find her.
Cathedral? I don't know what to tell you then.
Interesting. So he backed off as soon as she mentioned Cathedral.
Why are you being so difficult?
Nancy, if I help you, I'm pushing you right to whoever has lured you there.
I can handle myself.
Your mother said the same thing.
Huh.
See you around.
Bye.
Interesting. Okay.
Now to get everything Moira asked for.
So she said oatmeal something and haddock. Jeez. Check the menu here. Bannock oat cakes? I don't think this helps me. Haggis, neeps and tatties, stovies, black bun. Oh, here we go. Haggis is the national dish of Scotland. Here we go. Neeps and natties, mashed turnips and potatoes. Okay, I do remember she said that.
Great, that's one of the things on her list. Now to get the rest.
Yes, please. Alright, that's one thing. And she said something about an oatmeal something or other. Boiled fruit. Oh, here we go. Cream parfait with honey, oatmeal, and berries. So, this is a Kreneken. Here we go. Why did that not show up here? Oh, food delivery. What else did she want, though? Let me make a little extra money. I don't know how much more of this I'm gonna need to do.
Done.
Okay, one more. Stars pattern.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
I think that was all that she asked for. Alright, I'm gonna save real quick just in case there was something else that she wanted in addition. I don't know. Looks like maybe there was another dish. What else did she say that she wanted, though? Dad seems pretty upset. Oatmeal parfait, turnips, potatoes, haddock, and fudge. Alright, so... Is this something that is only put in for amateurs? Because if it is, that's good to know, and I'm going to keep that because, like I said, my memory is terrible. Alright, so haddock and fudge. So where's the haddock? Crap. Here we go. Cullen sink, smoked haddock, onions, and potato stew. And where's the fudge? Dessert. Here we go. Tablet. So, tablet and Cullen skink. Alright, tablet. Got it. And... Nope, I don't see a Cullen skink. So, haddock. Smoked haddock. I didn't see this. Oh, Smokies. Smoked haddock. That's what she wanted. Smokies.
That's everything. Now to Bear's Den to deliver this to Moira.
Okay, so I got everything. Let's make a couple of more cookies. I am paranoid I'm not going to have enough money for something when I really need it.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
Okay. This green one. Top cookie. Let's cut out the bear. Now let's put on... Oh... I didn't plan ahead. That was bum.
Need to work on my cookie spotting skills.
Yeah. For realsies. Is there jam underneath? I'm gonna say yes. And then let's cut the star out.
It's a masterpiece.
Okay, we're done. We're done. I'll just do 2. Alright, now we're gonna go to Beardston. Alright, let me save over this one that I had just earlier. Now that I know I've got everything. Alright.
Alright, I got what you wanted. Now please, I need to talk to you about my mother. Her name was Kate Drew.
Nancy, I had no idea. I would never have...
Please, come in. What you doing here?
Just visiting.
Your mother would shrug a bit whenever she was lying. Now I see it's genetic.
You knew my mother? Kate Drew?
Quite well. We wrote for the same newspaper. I knew you too.
What?
There's a photo. Go on, take a look.
That's me?
Oh, as a
Indeed
baby.
it is. Believe it or not, I was once your favourite person in the world.
Oh.
And mainly because I snuck you sweets when Kate and Carson weren't looking.
I'm so sorry. I just don't remember.
I guess I didn't really expect you to. You were quite small the last time I saw you. See that tea set?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You'll notice the lack of teacups. That's because you broke every single cup.
Sorry, I was an accidental terror.
Accidental. Please, get back here. Nothing accidental about it. You'd make eye contact, grin that vicious little grin you had, and smash! Then you'd laugh like it was the funniest thing in the whole world.
Oh, he must have been a nightmare.
Yeah, you were.
Sorry?
You have no idea how good it is to see you.
Who is that?
Was anyone following you?
Not that I know of.
Hide. Now.
What's going on?
Now!
What is going on? Oh, shoot, we gotta actively hide? Here we go.
Keep looking. Would you look at that?
Oh my god! Oh, god. Get in here.
Keep looking. Would you look at that?
Ah! Okay, obviously I'm not supposed to hide in those obvious places, but oh my god, No.
Would you look at that?
Oh man. Alright. There's like no hiding places. Where do you expect me to go?
Stay put and don't make a sound, no matter what you hear.
What's...
Shh! There's a safe behind the breaker. Look under the teapot. Follow what you find to the safe house.
Safe house? What's going on?
If it's starting again, no one can know you're here.
Oh,
Gentlemen, you must be here to abduct me. Oh, come, is that really necessary?
Whoa. Whoa, that's crazy. No, we gotta turn back. She said there was safe in there. Behind the breaker.
I need to find the information Moira hid under the teapot first.
Oh, okay. In that case, I thought... Alright, never mind.
This must be the number Moira referenced for the fuses.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. 185, okay. 1?
I need to flip the fuses to equal the number from the teapot.
Yeah. Oh, the power ratings. So that does 85. That does 75. Minus 30. $185. There we go. I was just kind of playing around with it.
This must be for the safe house in Loch Lomond.
Okay, cool. Loch
I
Lomond.
wonder what I'll need to open up this box.
Interesting. M. Oh, Moira. Thank you for the letters. I'm fine now. To be honest, I let the letters build up. I won't smooth that over with excuses. I know that it's not your fault everything went south, but I don't think it's likely I'll be returning. I'm sorry that's where I've landed, but you know why. I'll still look for your letters in the mail, and you can look for mine in the post. If you leave the life, I've got a room for you here. I know you won't. I regret bringing you in more than anything. Carson's fine. So this is Kate. Still spits fire at the mention of your name, which I'm sure will make you smile a bit. Yeah, he did say that, like, he doesn't want Nancy to find Moira. Nancy's good like she always is. She's picked up my habit of asking strangers the exact question she shouldn't. It makes Carson nuts, but it cracks me up. Okay. That's cute. Can't take this one along with us? Interesting. Okay. I guess we'll just have to remember that that's here. Alright, so we opened the... Oh, we didn't open the locked box. We opened the fuse box. Moira's instructions. Find and deliver the food.
Done.
And we tracked her down. Okay. Whoa. Money. Thank ya. Alright, so we gotta turn. Anything else here? Okay. So it just plays music. Alright, I think I'm done with that. Alright, just the soundtrack. Anything else? No? Guess not. I wanted to know if there was anything else as far as instructions to follow from Moira. Let her leave her bag. I asked very nicely at the desk, and now I have your phone number. How great is that, Bridget? That is such stalkery behavior. She is stalking us. Oh, this is how you can tell the clans apart. Okay, I'm sure we're gonna end up using that, so let's hold on to that. Anything in the kitchen? Doesn't appear so. Okay, let's get out of here. Alright, let's leave. Let me talk to this guy.
Tell me something good.
Never mind.
I'll let you go.
See you around.
Okay. Loch Lomond. Nope. Go further up. There we go. Alright, let me save again.
Well, I'm grounded. I'm Nancy. Big sad news coming down the pike. Breaker, Smokey,
Do you even have
Niner.
any idea how selfish you're being right now?
Nancy, is everything okay?
Bess, something's going on. It's bad.
Sneak down and listen.
'Kay.
No, you're not doing this.
Keep it down.
You made me a promise.
This is more important.
What do you want me to tell Nancy? Huh? That her mom doesn't care enough about her to stay? Just leave then. Run off to Scotland.
Wow.
Oh, grow up, Carson.
I'm coming over.
That's a good friend, though. She's coming over after hearing something like that. That's crazy. What the heck? If you have kids, please don't argue like that with them around in the house. Kids get into everything. They know. They know. Terrible. Alright, I'm not going to turn around because I'm going to assume that's going to use up my round trip, so. Alright. let's go here first. It looks like maybe this is for the power for the safe house here. Bray Arena. Cool. Pick him! Beat him up! Okay, we're good. We're good. I get the feeling that Nancy's not a very violent type, so let's not force her into such a role. Okay, I want to see if there's... What's this?
Looks like it's missing a part.
Alright, I don't think I've got a bagpipe part. So... Interesting. I wonder if we use the shears to cut off some of this. Nope, guess not. Oh, it's missing like the stem valve or something. You know, something I wanted to comment on. The game does a very good job of using the actual, or what I perceive to be the actual accent of the region, because they all have like that accent, which I attribute to like the people in Scotland and stuff. So I want to commend them for that. High scores. Kate Mazing, Moynificent, Kate Space, Twist of Kate, Kate Mazing, Chick's All Bad, Moira's Better. Huh. Okay.
There must be a way to get this open.
I'm sure there's a key for it.
Let's give this a shot.
What are we doing? Oh. Oh, there's some lag time there. Woo! Yeah, boy. Okay. I guess that one wasn't moving very fast. I've got 40. Nancy, top score. Whoa, okay.
I'm pleased with this development.
Very nice. Alright, cool. I wonder if that comes in along somewhere. The Great Highland Bagpipe, Scotland's national instrument. Oh, I think that's what this is missing. The chanter. The iconic Great Highland Bagpipes, Scotland's national instrument, were once used to frighten enemies on the battlefield. Today, bagpipes are more often heard in military bands, at caillots, and dances, and at Highland games, where pipers provide accompaniment for dancers and participate in the solo piping and pipe band competitions. So this is the drone, the blowpipe, that had all of that. Didn't have this. Bagpipes are complex wind instruments that require multiple reeds to create their distinctive sound. Piper uses the blowpipe, right here, to inflate the bag with air, which in turn flows out of the drones, these pieces, and the chanter as the pipe compresses the bag. While the drones provide a continuous note or chord, it is the fingering on the canter that provides the melody. There are 9 notes commonly played on the canter, from low G to a high A, and shows the fingering guide here. Chanter fingering chart. Black circles indicate covered holes, while white circles indicate open holes. I'm sure we're going to need to fix the bagpipe and then... Whoa. We're going to need to fix the bagpipe and probably blow a song or something. Mastering the Go. Bow types. Compound bow. So there's a longbow, traditionally made from a single piece of wood. The longbow is one of the oldest bow styles in the world. The longbow gets its name from its length, generally as tall as the archer, and is the iconic bow of the legendary Robin Hood. Its straightforward design lacks an arrow sight or arrow rest or sight, making the longbow lighter and quieter but with less accuracy and power than a recurve bow. Longbow is typically used for target practice. I think that's what we were using, was the longbow. Recurve. The recurve bow gets its name from the ends of the bow that curve away from the archer. This design gives the recurve a shorter profile and higher energy storing capacity. Oh yeah, because it curves toward the archer and then back out, so it recurves. The higher energy results in faster arrow speeds than a longbow of similar draw weight. Sights and arrow rests on the curves also help to improve accuracy over the longbow. Recurve is typically the bow type used in target shooting events, including the Olympics. Compound. I've played other games that are shooter games and they have bows, and like the compound one is always the best one. The modern design, the compound bow uses a system of cables and pulleys that provide a let off at full draw, allowing the archer a much heavier draw weight than would be able to pull on either a recurve or longbow. With its stronger build, the compound is frequently used for hunting and bow fishing. Arrow shafts for the compound are typically made of aluminum alloy or carbon composite, because the higher energy at which the bow is released can cause wooden arrows to break and splinter. The metal also makes the arrows lighter than wood arrows, and when combined with the other design features of the bow, makes the compound able to shoot further and faster than either the recurve or the longbow. Interesting. Okay, cool. Cool. Good to know. Alright. No, we don't want to go to the station. Wait, we got the key for this place right here. Okay. Anything of note right as we get in? No, I guess we'll go from left to right and see what's got. So we're in here. Cabin now. Oh, it looks like a quiver. Can we pick it up? No. Does not appear so. Okay. Anything with the bed or the trunk? Oh. Wood fireplace. Okay. Classy. I'm sure we use this to start a fire, perhaps. Oh. Got the chest or drawer. Sounds like somebody's in there. I thought I heard breathing. Maybe not. Huh. Oh. Money. Mary Queen of Scots, A Brief History. Fireplace. Plastic. Huh. Interesting. That's a hint. Codes of Treason. Nulls, Blow Death, and for with that would if but. After being forced to abdicate her throne to her one-year-old son James in 1567, Mary Queen of Scots fled Scotland. She sought refuge in England, presuming that her cousin Queen Elizabeth would assist her in reclaiming her Scottish throne. She was mistaken. Elizabeth had no heir of her own, making her cousin Mary the next in line for the throne of England. Elizabeth's right to the crown was under question by certain Catholic factions who believed Protestant Elizabeth was an illegitimate child of Henry VIII and therefore unfit to rule. Under their reasoning, this left Catholic Mary with the strongest claim to the English throne. When Mary arrived in England, Elizabeth had her cousin imprisoned. Mary spent the next 19 years under house arrest. Believing she was meant to be the ruler of England, Mary eventually conspired against Elizabeth. The Babington plot, as became known, was planned through coded correspondence between Mary and Anthony Babington. The letters were intercepted by Elizabeth's spies, who successfully decoded the nomenclator cipher used by Mary and her conspirators. The proof was irrefutable, and Mary was convicted of treason and sentenced to death. It took multiple strokes to complete the job when Mary was beheaded on February 8th, 1587. Wow! Multiple strokes to kill her? Oof. That is a horrible way to go. I will tell you that much. Alright, so there's a code there, obviously. I just wanted to see what was up. So, the clue was fireplace and plastic. No.
I need to figure out how to press these stones in the right order.
Oh, these stones. Is there an open? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Am I missing a stone that could be pushed? What is the logic here? So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it popped back out. 5, 6, 7, and they all pop back out. Okay. Those plastic. Fireplace plastic. Oh, this was the letter. Yeah, right here. Fireplace plastic. And I don't see any of these symbols on any of the rocks here. So I feel as though there's still something missing to help with this puzzle. And where is this bagpipe piece? And what is this screen for if not to provide some kind of clue? I'm not seeing anything though. Okay, it's interesting that it's there. And this doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look like any of the symbols in the book. Something with this TV. So we explored the cabin and the training building.
That's done. Check.
Mom's note. How to use Mom's note in the Queen Mary book. Yeah, what is here? So she doesn't use... Oh! I did not know there was another page here! Oh my god! How many pages is this? Oh my god, okay. I thought it was just the one page. M, I do still have my notes. You'll find them at the safe house. You must know that curiosity is twisting my neurons into knots of pure agitation. That's fine. I'll let that happen. You're a monster. So, alright. I have to know a little. No names, okay? Just tell me about the pattern. Was I right? Has it started up again? Alright. A, B, C. Oh, these are letters. O-P-E-N, maybe? Let's give that a try. Alright. Alright. So. O-P-E. Second, third, fifth. Okay, second, third, fourth, fifth. And then N. The fourth from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it was not open. M. Alright. Let me know a little, just the date. Don't send anything else, okay? It's not the same date, but I know this handwriting. Is it R? Can't come back in. I am not coming back in. Not a word to Carson or anyone in Cathedral, but look, here's what's still weird for me. The pattern we spotted. Why was it gone for so long? The night of the wave break. Did we really hit too close to home on that one? If so, that accounts for the long silence. I mean, it's been years since we've caught anything. So did we scare them into silence for a minute there? Or did we just lose the thread at that point? I'll help you for the time being, but you've got to get another analyst on board, okay? I've got enough of the notes in my head, but I need you to hit me with the specific dates and locations for all of the events. We subscribe to 3 papers. You can guess which ones. Drop everything into the ads. I'm a sucker for the lonely heart ads. Give me a reason to read them. Cute ads. Sad though. I know you remember what we learned in school and then again in interrogation training. That every joke travels with a bit of truth in its pocket. Moira, you're clearly lonely. I realize I'm the last person on earth who should give relationship advice as I'm the benefactor of an obscene amount of what my mother called love luck. Carson dropped into my life and that's that. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop squarely on my nose. Luck like this is unnerving. You know, when I approached you with the job at the paper, I hope this doesn't cheapen our friendship in your eyes, but I made a project of you. You were so brutally competitive and popularly own your own list of compliments, but you know what I think of you. I set my mark on you and you on me. We became close friends, graduated, parted ways. I kept reading your work. You were still so much better with words than I could hope to be. When your articles stopped appearing, I got very worried. I searched for your byline everywhere, found nothing. Then I found out why. My heart went out to you. Michael would be furious with you right now. He loved you, and the last thing he'd ever want is for you to sit the rest of your life out. I helped you back on your feet because I couldn't think of a better person to do the same for me when my time to fall flat on my face came around. By the way, you were hilariously suspicious at first. Can't say I blame you. Losing Michael was a kick in the gut, and anyone who looked you in the eye could see you waiting for the next blow to land. You found your way back, got writing again, but that look you had then, you still have it today. If true love means never having to say you're sorry, then true friendship between reporters means never having to break out the greased pencil. Fine. Here it is, one last time. He's dead, you're not. Go to his grave tomorrow and say goodbye. He loved you, and he had a voice to speak. It would beg you to stop torturing yourself. Back to the numbers. I'm selling a bunch of used garden equipment in the papers of record. Tell me if you think I got it right. I heard you loud and clear. Drive at your own chosen speed, but the numbers. How sure are you that I'm right? Alright, the situation is bad. Stand by. The next letter is going to come via courier. Tune in to the Declaration of Arbroath. R must be for Revenant. So, do we spell out plastic? P-L-A-S-T-I-C? Maybe. Alright, so these are pressed. Let me get a few more and they'll pop back out. Okay. Alright, so P L. Alright, so third. 1, 2, 3. E. 1, 2, 3. L. A. S. Right. A. S. T. I. T. I. C. Okay. There it is! Got it!
I need to figure out the password.
Huh. Interesting. Wonder what's the hint here. Let me see if there's anything else. Declaration of Arbroath. Declaration of Arbroath. Here we go. Recognizes Scotland's independence from England. So April 1320. So let's go take a look at that.
Moira's notes mention something about tuning in. I should figure out what station she meant.
041320. Whoa! This is a safe house. Dang, spinous. Woo! All right, I'm a little taken aback by that. That was That was crazy. That's why you could move into this screen here and grab that money. I think I've gone well enough for today. I feel like I've gotten a lot accomplished, even with all the backtracking and resaving or reloading that I had to do. Wow, I'm really intrigued at what's going on. My only gripe is a personal one in that my memory is terrible, and I feel like I need to remember a lot of this stuff that's been going on. It goes by so quickly, I can't write anything down, and I don't know. So, I don't know. I am enjoying it, though. It's very intriguing. I wonder if of all the Nancy Drew games are very similar to this, and I wonder what the difference is between the amateur and the master as far as gameplay goes, and whether or not that'd be something that I should get into, because I haven't been using hints, which, yeah, it's still early on, I know, but I haven't been using them. It's been pretty good so far. Wow. Oh, I also want to say that I'm going to be using a new editing program, so hopefully there aren't any glitches or any graphical weirdness with the editing portion. I don't usually edit too much as far as my videos go, so I don't think it will be a problem, but it might delay subsequent episodes as opposed to pulling them out as quickly as I have in the past. So please bear with me as I try to get used to the new program, and hopefully I can do some like newer, more better effects and stuff, or I don't know. I'm just trying to make my videos better in general. So yeah. With all that said, I hope you've enjoyed watching and joining me in the adventure so far, and I hope that you'll come back for the next one. And until then, bye.